da. Teknolojinin transferinde yatırım da hep burada konuştuğumuz gibi ve sizlerin bildiği gibi çok kıymetli ve iş meleklerinden bahsedeceğiz şimdiki oturumumuzda. Melek yatırım ağlarının önemi, nasıl kuruldukları ve girişimlere nasıl yararlar sağladıklarını hep birlikte öğreneceğiz. Oturumun moderatörü, EKA Global Şirketler Grubu kurucusu ve Galata Business Angels üyesi Sayın Arif Akta. Ben sözü bırakıyorum. Buyurun Arif Bey.
Teşekkür ederim. Öncelikle buraya geldiğiniz için ve günün bu saatinde kalıp bizi dinlediğiniz için çok teşekkür ederim. Konferansı organize edenlere de canı gönülden teşekkür ederim. I think this is coming off, but anyway, that's all right. That's all right. Okay, thank you. So it's a pleasure to be here with you at the end of the day. Thank you for your patience, and we hope this could be a good session for all of you. And I really hope you will get something out of this discussion today, and that will be very, very useful for the future. Before I introduce the panelists, and before we get into the topic, we discussed a lot of things beforehand, and our first question would be to you, simply because we really want to know who is in the room, and what kind of an audience we are talking to. For that, I would like to know if there is any of you that wants to start a business angel group. Is there anyone in the room that wants to start a business angel group? You, thank you. Okay, so we got one.
Thanks.
So secondly, are there any business angels in the room? Licensed business angels. Okay, there you are. There you are. Okay. Any company owners, anyone, any entrepreneurs in the room? Anyone that started their own businesses? All right. Okay. So now, okay, we now have a sense of our audience. I am one of the earliest members of Galata Business Angels, and for the Turkish angel investing ecosystem, since we were one of the first angel investment groups, it's been a very, very fantastic, very, very difficult, and a very, very exciting journey for us. We are now, I believe, the premier organization in Turkey. We have made a lot of investments. We have failed many times, and we now have 24 business angels active and licensed that is a member of our group. From the very beginning, our agenda, our investment policies, our due diligence systems have all evolved and changed. So there is no one specific rule to how to run a business angel group. For that, we will be talking to our panelists here, and they will all give their perspective as to how, first, they got involved with the business angel group. Second, if they have started the business angels group, how they started that group. And third, we will also find out exactly what makes a business angels group very successful. I mean, how can you be successful once you're a member of a business angels group? So I would like our panelists to introduce themselves. First, Ayşe, and then Gilles, and then Tongi.
Okay. Hi everyone, glad to be here. Coming here on behalf of VentureWell today. I'm with Life Science Angels, and a prominent angel investment group in the US, ranked #1 in 2014 by CB Insights. I'm obligated to say it every time, anywhere I go. So my background, I'm a scientist by training. My background has been in pharma, biotech, medical device companies. I've been an entrepreneur myself, and recently, I wanted to understand more about it. Not recently, about 5 years back, I did a fellow in entrepreneurship with Life Science Angels again. This is partially answering your other question. Okay. I'll skip through this. We'll come back to that. Yeah, I'm an angel investor myself, building my portfolio. Also, I work with VentureWell with their other projects around the world, within the US, especially healthcare-based. Around the world, anything. I'm personally also interested in edtech companies and entrepreneurship education myself. So I'll leave it at that. Keep the introduction short. Pass it on to you.
Yeah. First of all, I have to say that I'm not a business angel. I invested my own money several years ago in a French company named Callistem technology, and we sold the company to Wise. It was quite a big success in France at that time. But it was, I would say, the beginner's luck. It was not something that I wanted to do on a larger scale. I'm much more an entrepreneur. I created my first company, I was 18, named Infomedic. The second one at 25, Sun Valley. Then I managed a global distribution network for 10 years before jumping again in the creation of two ICT companies named Vocal Fruits and Smart Life Systems that I sold. I joined BPI France and created Euroquity, the matchmaking platform for entrepreneurs, investors, companies, business supports. And I will elaborate on that a bit later. I have to say that at BPI France, we are not obviously an angel, but we are a public organization, a public bank. We are financing, we are co-financing, we are investing. And I have to say that we are working more and more closely with business angels. For us, really, this is the starting point of this huge adventure to create innovative companies. We believe in them. We are working with them. We created 2 years ago a co-investment fund. We are in the process to create, beginning of next year, a really huge operation because we are aiming to target more than 1,000 companies in 4 years. And one of the criteria will be to have an investment coming from an angel. So really, for us, it's a big challenge because we see in the room here one of you guys who wants to become a leader of a new business angel network. Some of you want to become angels. We know that this is something very difficult, and we are here to give a hand. And I will have a few words regarding the ASIL project that we are managing at the European level.
Tongi.
My approach is question of friendships. It's a barrier friend. I had a friend, we used to work together for a long time. And after that, he started to invest by himself in small company. And he started by fail. At the third failure, he asked me to help me in looking at a young company. And we failed together. And after that, we had the idea to not only to have our own point of view because we were coming from the IT environment, and we thought at that time that we are very expert. It's not really true. And we decided to start a business angel group, in Paris. It was in 2005, 12 years ago. And we started with only 10, 15 people. And we grew up to 150. The network is working today. And more we were involved. And gathering people, sharing the different point of view, different experiences, and gathering money also, because that the company need more and more money. And it's not only 10,000, but 100 and 200 kilo euro per ton. And it was the good idea to set up a business angel group in order to address the good companies, starting company.
Okay.
That's it for the moment.
Fantastic. Actually, as a panelist, we wanted to give you some real-life experiences, okay, rather than a formula of how to create a business angel group. So when I say real-life experiences, when you look at a business angel group, all you need is really good entrepreneurs. I mean, the environment, legally and investment-wise, should be very fruitful when it comes to finding good ideas. So you have the entrepreneur here, and then you now have all these entrepreneurs coming to your angel group, pitching their business ideas. Then you need a really good selection process of which ideas you want to invest in. And then after you do the investment, you need a really good, let's say you did the due diligence, you really need a really good monitoring process so that these investments can flourish and you can see your exit. your investments could be in different ideas, in different subjects, and your subject, Ayşe, is very, very interesting because you are a business angel in life sciences industry. Is it any different than other angel groups? Like, why is it life sciences number one, and what makes you successful? Why should an entrepreneur come to you?
We're industry specific, as you can tell by the name. We have 2 screening committees. One focuses on biotechnology, molecular diagnostics. The other one, medical devices and digital health applications. So they say invest in what you know. That's why I chose to join Life Science Angels. It's easy for me to come up to speed with any type of technology, especially at this point. After 3 years with LSA, I've seen more than 2,000 companies in life sciences. So it's very easy and quick for me to understand when I see a company, their shortcomings, and if they have real potential in the marketplace or not. So that's a competitive advantage, and that's partially why the entrepreneurs come to us. Because the group, especially, we have a little over 100 members all over the US, and all of us have a background in life sciences. It's company executives, entrepreneurs themselves, people that had multiple exits. And recently, we have membership coming from the hardware, software side of things, because people want to add variety to their portfolios, and the best way to do it with a group of experts who know what they're doing, who can efficiently carry out a due diligence process, specifically in life sciences. Okay. So when we syndicate, LSA syndicates pretty well. We invested about 50 million to date with 1 billion follow-on investments. So VCs usually attend to our funding events to find their next deal, and other angel groups within the US, Sandhill Angels, Band of Angels, Golden Seeds, they're not those groups. They invest in anything. So if they want a life science deal, they would like to, even if they find something themselves, they send it to us for the due diligence process, and depending on the outcome, they decide to invest or not. And what was another part of your question I'm missing?
Well, why is your business angel group so successful? Why do you think? What are the strengths of your business angel?
The due diligence for a life science company is different than your e-commerce company, because life science companies require more capital to reach their milestones. And there's the regulatory hurdles. You have to spend more time, minimum of 20 hours, digging into a company. And we spent more than that by the end of, we see a company and it's funded. It's a good 60 to 80 hours, I want to say, that went into evaluating that company. We, in addition to, everything that everybody else does, the due diligence checklists out there, in addition to that, we spend a good amount of time, as I was telling you today, about financial physics. We sit down with them, take a look at their cap tables, with possible exit scenarios, because in life sciences, you don't have that many IPOs. It's mergers or acquisitions that the investors can realize their exits. So it's different practice, more due diligence. But you have to find what model works for your group. In our group, we have a team of fellows. We're lucky because we're in the Valley, we're in the Bay Area. We have physicians at Stanford doing their residency who want to start their own company in the future. They commit their 6 months of time carrying out the pre-screening process for us. UCSF, hospital administrators, anybody who's interested to learn, entrepreneurs themselves who want a perspective of the investor. In exchange for their time, it helps us with our deal flow, and they learn a whole bunch, and I was one of them to start with back in the day.
And you also do something with the underprivileged entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, I'm personally interested in entrepreneurship education. I work with a variety of foundations back in the Bay Area. One of them is Junior Achievement. I help them teach entrepreneurship K through 12, which means from kindergarten all through the end of high school. Different programs for every grade, trying to get that entrepreneur mindset, instill it into children early, yeah.
Stages.
And there are other...
not entrepreneurs, teenpreneurs, right?
Exactly.
And we need more teenpreneurs.
Definitely, and there are other foundations like Build, for instance, in East Palo Alto. The US is quite different. In Palo Alto and East Palo Alto, it's not even 1 mile in between, and you have 2 different worlds. And now there's these foundations who are trying to empower more of those underprivileged kids in those communities, giving them the tools to start their own businesses, encouraging them to go forward. Yeah.
Okay. Gilles, real quickly, I know you're not an angel, you don't belong to an angel group, but you are doing something very useful for the angel groups overall. It's the EZIL project. Can you tell us more about the EZIL project? What is it that you want to accomplish, and why should angel groups learn more about this?
I think for all our countries, it's a real challenge and it's a big opportunity. So at the European level, they decided to launch a new project to help business angel networks to grow and mostly to become more and more professional. Because as I told, coming from our experience in France, we saw that we are working more and more closely with business angels because they are becoming more and more professional. So we are involved in that project with 6, 7 other partners in Europe, Meta in Italy, Link Scotland in Scotland, Business Angel Europe, European Crowdfunding Network, European Business and Innovative Centers based in Brussels. What we are expecting to do, in fact, is to give, on a country-by-country basis, all the tools to help you to create your own business angel networks. And if you have already a business angel network, to access to best practices. Because what we are doing here, in fact, we are doing that at the European level and with all the European associated countries. I think sharing experiences at this stage is something very valuable. So we have some training courses, we have videos, we are able to do open days and so on. But at the top of the list, I have to say that I think what is very valuable is to have a direct access to top business angels. Top business angels meaning guys that invested, that went to exit, and also created business angel networks. So this is really something, a kind of roadmap that has to be specific country by country to deliver something very efficient. And for that, we are using some tools. Of course, EuroEquity is one of them. So inside EuroEquity, you will have access to one community which will gather all the business angels, the individual investors that are interested to join and to benefit from the program. We will also showcase companies, because one thing was to have access to quality deal flow, and EuroEquity is done for that. So we have e-certifications, communities to qualify. Because the point is, okay, I have 1,000 companies to look at and to decide in which to invest in. Which one do I pick up? And one way is to know that that one and that one is supported by top-level organizations, as Tubitac, BPI France, some TTOs, and so on. It's a way for the investors to have a look at the company. We are also opening a new feature inside EuroEquity, which is a digital academy, because we believe that the training part is key. If you want to create a new network, for instance, you will have all the documentations, you will have all the training sessions done by your fellow. So I think this is something very valuable. So on that part, on the EZIL project, please join. If you are interested, you want to create your business angel network, please join. This is completely free, and we will help you to create your own business angel network. And for the other business angels, individual investors that are in the room, please connect also. So this is very simple. You have to go on the website. This is www.europeanezil.eu. And to contact us, this is info@europeanezil.eu. So only that message. Please join, and we will give a hand.
Okay. Well, actually, in the Turkish ecosystem, we are also trying to reach out to our European counterparts, to the world, and that would be a good tool for us as well.
Yeah, because of course, I have to say that you have existing business angel networks in Turkey, and we will work closely with all of them. And one, I think, opportunity between all of us is to scale up also, the work of the angels in each European countries. We did that at the European level already with what we are calling the Business Angel Europe Club, which is mostly dedicated to cross-border investments. So I think it's a good opportunity for, if you are a company, because in the room, some of you are companies, perhaps you are looking to find investors, and as TTOs, if you want to also, I would say, give some clue to the companies you are supporting, really, I think this is one of the key points. Help them to get access to a panel of business angels that are not only in one country, but in different countries. Of course, if the company is able to scale up at the European level.
Okay, thank you. Tanguy, I think in this panel, you are one of the most seasoned angel investors, and you're one of the first
The most what?
members-
The most what?
The seasoned, like well experienced, and also you are one of the first members of France Business Angels,
Yeah.
correct? So can you walk us through from the first day that you joined the angel group, how is it that you set up your functioning processes, like your screening process, your due diligence process, and what do you think are your strengths as France Business Angels? What do you do best?
What we can explain today is not, it could be not the right thing to follow right now, because that in the past it was more easy because we start from nothing.
Yeah.
Starting from
years
nothing,
ago?
we have to create the market.
Yeah.
It's not easy because a business angel at that time was not so well known. Once it was not recognized as it is today.
10 years, 12 years, how many years ago?
12 years.
12 years.
15 years. France Angel started 15 years ago,
Okay.
starting, but the real starting of Business Angel in France, it's around 2004, 2005, 12 years ago. And the starting point is to have a group of friends, very close, knowing them, each other, with confidence, because that is a way we have to be confident each other, we have to be confident also and create the confidence with the entrepreneur. Because it's not a bet, it's just, it's really confident that, yes, we agree all together on the business plan or your strategy or your market or your product or your organization. And we are able to go together in this adventure. That is the key point. But after that, that 15 people could be the right size to start. But it's not enough to address bigger and bigger project, because that 15 people, we need to have enough money to invest 1 or 2 times a year, and it's why that rapidly we need to be involved in the ecosystem. Needs that we have to need the VC, the innovation, the incubators, accelerators, as we explained in the previous panel, because very useful because it's the part of the sourcing. And we need to the business school, with the R&D team in the universities. All we have to find that, and because that the key point is to make, as I call a mayonnaise, that you have to bring investors, but the investor will go if they are sure that they have good project, and good project will come only if they have good investors. Sure. And we have to work on the daily basis to mix that and to create the confidence all together with the different parts. And after that, you have to be known also, because that when we are alone as a business angel, you have just your own network, it's not enough. You have to open, you have to be known by everybody. And today, the best way today is to make a demo day, to check with some part of the ecosystem and select some enterprise, some project, and to show that it's the best way to teach people, teach the potential investors how it works, is depending. As we, every year in France, at the last week of November, we have the Business Angel Week. Business Angel Week is to organize, we organize roughly 30 35 events everywhere in France, mixing project presentation, mixing the testimony of investors and companies, just to teach, to train people to discover what is it. It's good to address people and to help them to join the different networks. Huh? Sure. And we have also, at the level of France Angel, what we call the France Angel Tour. Roughly five days in different regions of the France to open for the individual business angel, come to the network, come to the France Angel. Okay. But events, it's a really key point to start after that.
Just to quickly summarize, I guess it all starts with one person that is actually pulling you into being a member of an angel group. One dedicated individual, one investor that pulls you in, and it's a group of friends, it's a group of family that works closely together, looking into the same direction, right? And then you basically start investing, and to find those good investment ideas, you have to work closely with the whole ecosystem. Universities, incubators, VCs, all of them, to be successful and to create a really healthy environment in the country. Saying that, Ayşe, I believe you know more about the US ecosystem, don't you? Like, coming from there. Can you give us a brief picture as to what's going on in the US right now when it comes to angel investing?
When it comes to angel investing?
Do you have that information?
What's going on?
Can you use your slides or not?
Yeah, we could. I could talk to it a little bit.
Yeah, please do that.
Okay. Do you mind bringing up the slides so that there is some not a huge amount, but there is some statistical data that kind of said this is, don't get hung up on the title. It's not. It's not going to be best practices because we decided not to go into the due diligence, but I'll still do the overview. Oh, thank you. So it's the right one? Okay. So everybody knows who the angel investors are. That's a little, some numbers for you. About 13,000 angel investors in the US, close to 250 angel groups. If you want, actually, Angel Capital Association is a great resource for angel investors and people who want to learn more about angel investors and best practices for due diligence. They have a huge amount of resources on the website. I suggest you go and check it out. They say, angels and VCs are different, but these are the 4 points that I wanted to put on this slide. That you're most likely to lose your money in any venture. Losses are capped, but obviously by how much you invested, but wins are not, and that's what keeps everyone going. And usually 10% of your investments will make you the 90% of all cash returns, which is why we always say it's great, as if you're an angel investor, you have to be working on building your portfolio, minimum of 10 companies, and keep building it. Losses are realized twice as fast. So here's some data about the angel return studies done by different groups from 2007 to 2016. The multiples, pretty much the same in the 2.5 range. And hold has increased recently, and we're seeing it again. I think this year is going to be about 25% increase. It's now 4.5 years. There is an increase in losses as well, about 70, up from 50. And again, 85%, 10% of the deals generated 85% of the cash. So that's kind of, a little landscape for you. This was the points in the previous slide. This is important, which I was referring to a minute ago, outcomes split by due diligence. There's a good reason. There are different angel groups still today. They just get together, a group of friends, wealthy individuals. They would meet for lunch every 2 weeks and talk about a couple companies, or those companies will come to talk about themselves, very informally, but they will still write checks. That's still going on, although not as much. Not as much in life sciences, per se. And there is a good reason because the data supports it. There's a good reason to spend the time getting to know your company. It's 2 times better returns for 20+ hours due diligence. And if you look at it by industry expertise, again, we say invest in what you know. Smart money, referring to smart money again, it's 60% better multiples for deals, which benefits the entrepreneurs, also the investors, benefits the whole ecosystem. Again, an advantage of life science angels in our case. And this is what I just told you guys about life science angels. 23 exits, 50 million invested, and 25 returns so far. We're doing well as a group. What else? Let me run through it quickly. The deal structure as a group, for the one person in the audience who's thinking about starting their own angel network.
But that one person could make a big
I
difference.
I know.
That one person could make a big difference.
I know.
That could be Steve Jobs.
This is for you. So this, in our group, every member, as in most angel groups, unless you're raising a fund, there are some angel groups who raise a fund, and they pay a group of managing directors or a team, an executive team, who make the investment decisions. And the members are not really involved in the deals themselves. But in our case, members make their own investment decisions. We prefer, obviously, equity versus debt. And investments are structured as an LLC, which means we form a company for every investment. So that's easier for housekeeping purposes. That lets us write a single check to the company. And easier on the company, their cap table is cleaner. Visibility for our group. And whenever LSA invests, when I say LSA, I'm referring to Life Science Angels, we take a board seat with the company. And if it's a syndication and we cannot have the board seat, we always rely on an internal deal champion to make the deal anyways. So that person will give us quarterly updates about the company. So we're very good about following that investment through and mentoring them along the way, obviously. The other one, the solicitation, we talked to it a little bit, you just did. We're actively attending, we have great relationships with the universities, Stanford, UCSF, locally. I commit to going to mentoring days, spend a good amount of time getting to know their entrepreneurs and the companies when they're just starting out at the idea stage. And when I co-chaired the committee, in 2016, I spent a good amount of time building relationships with the incubators and the accelerators in the Bay Area, also nationwide, because new ones are coming up every day and they have different business models. And incubators, we see more incubators with an investment arm. They would have, you know, they would give $250K in exchange for 8% of the company and see that company through. And it's in their best interest as an incubator to get those companies funded after the demo day, for instance. So we're a part of that. That helps us. To investment committees, I talked about internal champion always. With internal champion, what I mean is somebody in the group who's really excited about that deal. That might be the person who brought in the deal, or, you know, when we see, because we get a lot of applications through our website, and we don't pay anyone for, you know, solicitation or anything.
We have the same system, Tony.
Yeah.
You have the same system as well, right? You have a champion.
Exactly. We have the same. We are very close. Huh? The size of your network is exactly the size of the Paris Business Angel network in terms of people, in terms of the processes. But we are more generic. We are not dedicated. But we work with Business Angel network with thematic ones in the life science, in the IT, in the horse business, for example, or the forest, the wood business, that we have different network dedicated. And we co-invest with them. They are the experts, and the Paris Business Angel comes just to following the champion of the expertise.
Yeah. The same goes for us. Investment range 150K is the minimum we say, but it's usually more than that, and up to $1 million.
It's normal that we're very close because we copy you. We are very close with the American Association.
Yeah, I think both groups started around the same time. Like LSA was founded in 2005 as well, so maybe.
But the process is the same.
Yeah, syndication, it's very important because we participate ACA, for instance. I think ACA is a angel capital association, the umbrella association of all the angel investment groups in the US. They do a really good job introducing people to each other. I don't know if we have any kind of conferences like that in Turkey.
Is so
I know.
I mean,
but something, something in Europe maybe, that encompasses the region would be a good idea because it helps us a lot with the syndication. We attend ACA every year, get to know the other angel groups, build relationships, and ACA has monthly syndication calls that, any member of our group is a natural member of it's mostly the same for other angel networks as well. So if they have a deal that they want to close quickly, then they would syndicate on that call, and it's, they facilitate that, and that's really helpful. Yeah. Okay. And no, we're not going into due diligence. We're done.
Okay. If you would accept, if there are any questions in the room, we could take a couple of questions for our panelists and for us, if you'd like to ask any. Because otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up. When it comes to the Turkish angel investing ecosystem, I mean, as Galata Business Angels, we really started when there was no legal framework, and where, just like you, where the angel investing was just not known. Now it could be a bit more sexy, it could be more applicable to a lot of people, but it didn't exist. So it was a very, very, very amazing process, I would say, and we have about 430 licensed angel investors now, as far as I know. Those are numbers. And our Ministry of Treasury actually gives out licenses. That's, I don't know if it's specific to us. Yeah. And also, we also attend champions to the new ideas. And as a matter of fact, you've been reading some good exit stories about the Turkish environment. Yemek Sepeti and Monetize, the company that monetize both. And those stories will keep on coming. I know it for a fact. You'll hear about one good news at the end of this month as well. And that's very, very good for the Turkish ecosystem. And I wanted our guests to speak more to you today simply because we need to get all their experiences. And in another panel, we can talk about the Turkish ecosystem in much detail. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening to us. And I hope to see you soon again. Thank you for our panel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Çok sağ olun.